Hello. Good afternoon for everyone who's in Europe, and good morning for anyone who's in the US. I have a new microphone. Is this going to be better or worse than the previous one? Hopefully everything will work, but let us know if you cannot hear us well. Big day today. We're releasing the first ever DLC for Distant Worlds. It's pretty big. Sound up. So you see, still experimenting with our equipment. So we see Edmund says sound is fine, so that's a good indication. Usually Edmund is hypercritical, so if he says he's fine, he's probably going to be fine. Yeah, we'll let us know if we ever anything to fix. As I said, Distant Worlds 2 is releasing its first DLC. Eric and Max are still very busy trying to sort things out, or post-release, or just immediately post-release last-minute fixes on how things work, and price and currencies and all that kind of stuff. But it should be pretty cool and smooth. So thanks for downloading this DLC if you want to play some new factions. I wasn't knocking Edmund. I think he's very hypercritical, means that he points out all our mistakes very clearly. So Ikkuro and Dhayut are the first two factions that we're adding to Distant Worlds. They could be sort of more different in terms of how they play, and this is kind of one of the angles we're trying to take with these DLCs, right? It's factions. So how do you sort of make these DLCs interesting and relevant for existing players by giving a lot of new different ways of playing the game. So the Ikkuros are a faction that's very much based on peace and harmony, and a link to the nature, and they have these freaking cool ships that are self-repairing. They're sort of a mix between technology and biology. They're pretty cool, and it's really a different way of playing the game. The Dhayut are your kind of average paranoid schemers trying to achieve greatness through manipulation. That's, I think, the tagline for the Dhayut. So very different types of factions. Have a go and try and play them. We've also added a bundle on Steam if you haven't got Distant Worlds and want to buy both. This won't be in a discount, of course, when we launch, but if you don't have Distant Worlds 2, remember that in about, I think, a couple of hours, the spring sale on Steam kicks off. So just wait for a couple of hours if you want to buy the full game, and just don't find out that only after 2 hours that the game's been discounted. Just that's my insider tip. And by the way, you can always check these discounts on the What's the Deal news item on our site. 56 minutes to the sale. So you see, not a long time. That's pretty soon. I was trying to check if there was any question. No, I think it's 7 o'clock our time here, but I'm not 100% sure. It could be in an hour or so. I don't know. Just don't take that for granted. Just keep refreshing Steam until you get the discounts showing up. Right. So after this, this is sort of the first step for Distant Worlds, sort of new life after the Aurora update. Eric pinged me an email and a message and a Skype message as well, trying to push this important message. The fixes on Distant Worlds are not over. Aurora update fixed a whole lot of things, but the team keeps developing the features and making fixes and making sure that the game is improving all the time. So it's not that, that Aurora update made it, for forever. We are still working on improving the game. So make sure that this is very clear to everyone. We don't want you to think that if you've got any problem with the game, you cannot raise it because we stopped fixing the game. The team is always working on improvements. Yes, that's a that's a good tagline, Eric. The galaxy lives on, and free updates will continue. That's not bad. I'll use that as a marketing message. Do you want to join marketing team, Eric? I think it'd be great. I cannot do your job though. I'll be probably just freaking out after 2 minutes. So we cannot swap, unfortunately. More info I've got for Starship Troopers. I've got a pretty long list of updates, so just brace yourself for this tea time. Starship Troopers, we have the scenario editor being released. I think it was released a couple of days ago. There's already a mass of scenarios available on Steam Workshop. One cool thing about this scenario editor, and again, I think there was a live stream of Edmund a couple of days ago with Lucas explaining how it works and so on. Because I was really curious. I went ahead and tried myself. What the cool thing about this is that you just click the editor button on the main screen and you get access to all the resources that developers have used to develop the scenarios in the game. It's like all the props, all the 3D assets, the units, everything is at your disposal to create your content. And it's really, really easy. So I think that it's not only for experienced modders and such. It's really for everyone who wants to, hey, let's try and use this as a little toy and spend some time trying to experiment with things. It's really, really cool. And a number of existing scenarios is already very, very big. There's you'll see some screenshots here of stuff that's been created by the users, by some early beta testers of the scenario editor, and big thanks to the large community of testers and content creators that have made a great amount of content for the game already. They all come from the Discord and so on. So if you want to chat to them and check there, if you need some help in creating your own scenarios, don't hesitate to sort of go on the Discord channel and make sure that you ask the questions there. There's experts willing to help as well. So what game? This is for Starship Troopers Terran Command. That's the biggest update we've released for biggest feature update that we've released for the game so far. And after almost it's not a year the game's out, but we're approaching sort of probably 9 months it's been out, and we have released so much free content for this game up until now. It's crazy. So big props to the Artistocrats. The team is growing. The guys are making an incredible job supporting this game, and we've got big plans for it. So stay tuned on that. It's really coming up fast and pretty chunky as well. Yes. So again, if during the live stream you've got questions and things, just feel free to ask. So for instance, just as I speak, will Flashpoint campaign Southern Storm be coming to Steam this year? Paul, yes, it will be coming this year. Not in a long time. I think a couple of months probably, even less probably, and the game will be out on Steam. So you don't have to wait too long. Hey, Yog Dog, you have a huge cold. I'm sorry for that. Is that bad weather in the UK, or is just a seasonal thing? Here we've got the last remains of the winter. It's still a bit cold, but it's coming up as in warm in the afternoon. So come over to Italy and have some gelato. as soon as you can or you want. Um, More, I've got some news for headquarters from the developers. We have just released one recent developer diary, just a short video I'm going to show to you, and then you can read some more news on the site.
Hello, it's Alexander from Starny Games with the fourth devlog entry. Today I will tell you more about the various terrain types and how they affect the battle in Headquarters World War II. I'll also explain how the elevated terrain works and how your troops can benefit from it. If you'd like to know more, please follow the link below to access the full devlog article.
Reminder that headquarters is coming up to Steam and major platforms um, kind of soon, but we're going to the beta phase very soon as well. So stay tuned. Again, there's all the different news on the website and forum and social media channels. Check it out there because there's going to be a lot more news about the game coming up. Also, as you know, we've got this question that a lot of, is headquarters a successor to Battle Academy and so on, because there's some similarities, I would say, in terms of how the game displays and shows on the screen, except that of course headquarters is much sexier game in terms of graphics and such. It's an Unreal 5 engine, so of course it looks gorgeous, and Starny is putting so much effort in making it super cool looking. But I would say that with all things considered, we kind of value headquarters as a World War II version of Battle Sector in a way. So that's the kind of scope and how the game will sort of play out. Of course, with all the differences and such, but this is how we're sort of positioning headquarters right now. I think Battle Academy was, much more like war gamey. So that's I would think that that's the main difference between the two. But as soon as we enter the beta phase, we'll sort of hear it from you, how it plays and how you like it and so on. And it does look really, really good as well. Yeah, it does. I feel that this is going to be one of the best looking turn-based strategy games around when it releases, because I have to say in the clips it just shows, I think, some of the graphic potential it has when we see it in internal meetings and showcases internally. It just looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm super excited about it. Is there any new Napoleonic title on the works? And what about modern naval warfare? Right, a couple of questions there. So Napoleonic, we don't have anything in development right now. We're considering a number of alternatives for the future of some of our franchises, but Napoleonic is showing as one candidate, but there's no actual work on Napoleonic games right now. Modern naval warfare, I can tell you that some part of the team have just tested the VR version of it, and they were blown away by the level of detail. And that's the only thing I can tell you right now about development and where we are. But it's development goes on, and the Maslas Bros are working super hard to make this really a great game. It's going to be massive, and so thanks for asking, actually, Alex. More news, of course. Remember that we've got Shadow Empire, the Oceania DLC coming out on the at the end of the month. I think it's the 30th of March releasing, and on Monday next week we'll have a live stream of Vic or Edmund playing the game with Vic commenting in the chat and helping him out showcasing this massive, like truly massive DLC we're going to release at the end of the month, because kind of busy, tying up the last remaining loose ends and making sure that the game releases on time and without any problem. Modern Naval Warfare is the one in your upcoming catalog I'm looking for big time. I think Modern Naval Warfare is a game or is a sim that sort of steps a little bit outside of our like pure strategy type of um, uh, lineup thing, but we do have a lot of um, expectations for this game because I think in general, the gaming market has been lacking a proper modern submarine simulation since quite a long time. So there's a big demand for that as well. If you had carte blanche to renew any old strategy game and bring it to the modern age, what would you go for? I think go for Empire Earth. I think it's a nice question for everyone. Just ask I'll ask the question to everyone in the chat and see what your answers are. We are always looking at this subject as what is a heritage franchise IP that would make a good return to the mass audience, and everyone has his own opinion. Personally, I don't know. If I look back, there has been a Master of Orion remake recently in the last few years, but I'd go back to that type of game. But that's just me, really. Marco, can please his boss by saying Legion. Legion. I think Legion aged. I think that the type of gameplay Legion was trying to sort of make was a bit of two different games. So I personally go for more the management part of Legion, which is much more what an AGO type of game would look like on the battles and things. I'd probably think that that's an entirely different game. I'd just think of, but I think it's a great question. It's a good debate to have as well. Speaking of which, we have some news about Field of Glory Kingdoms. I spoke to Pocus, I think yesterday or the day before, and he just out of the conversation, he said, "Oh, look at this screenshot." And I said, why don't you send us some screenshots for tea time? And here they are. I'm going to read what they are because can you put them full screen, Miki? Thank you very much. Just take me out of the thing so I can. They can. Oh, fantastico. Grazie. This one is showing a Templar order decided to wage war against the Byzantine. And this is what is the cool thing about this is that it's AI v AI playing here. So it's like totally, like emergent gameplay you're seeing. The next one is I think it's a dynasty one. Or right, no, that's the. I think we're trying to tease paradox here, showing the King of Sweden. Then we have kingdoms features. This is one campaign, and the selection of the factions and the scenarios here. You will have to in this specific scenario you'll have to win as either the Byzantine Empire or the Turks. So 3 screenshots for you. And we try to do this more because I think when you ask us about these games and where they are in terms of development, I just blabber something and you say, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, you didn't tell us much, but updating you guys with more screenshots and where we are and what is happening. By the way, one cool thing is that in the specific screenshot there, I asked what was final and what still was to be finalized. If I had to put any alpha, marking or watermark on the screenshot, and this focus said everything in this screenshot should be final. So consider that as an indication of how fast the game is progressing. Um, let me check what I have next for you. I think the next one is going to be Master of Magic. So, Master of Magic, we have, I think I'm going to show you something on Master of Magic. Basically, what's happening is that we've just released Master through the Mirror update. One of the things we're doing right now is collecting all the feedback. We're receiving a lot of feedback from the players. And by the way, this is important. If you think you have constructive feedback, other than of course putting it on the Steam reviews, come in the Discord channel and chat with the development team. They're always there. They are super reactive, and they are giving a lot of feedback as well there. And tell us what you think we should change, because what is happening is that Master Magic always has an open beta branch with new features to test all the time. So if you want to contribute to the growth of the franchise, join the beta. Hello there. Join the beta and make sure that you apply for testing all these new features. It's a way for us to improve the game, but also collect the feedback from the community and make sure that these things are prioritized in a better way. So, for instance, we have a lot of feedback from the players about the auto battle features. There's feedback about the battle system. There's feedback about the maps and the displays, and so the stuff that will help us make that okay. We'll focus on this first, then this, and then this. This helps a lot, and because the team is also working on the future developments of Master of Magic, this is a way for us to understand what would work best with the community in the mid to long term. Thanks, Das. You notice, and that's why we ask your opinion a lot in recently, especially about Master Magic. Especially some of you guys have been pretty critical about some aspects of the game. We've been asking you to give us more feedback, and this is an important part of the job here of the producers back in UK, of here of the brand managers, to make sure that this is followed up with the community, and these changes are making it to the game. Send mom to the Vatican for a review. To the Vatican? I don't get the joke. Sorry. Steel Panthers. Hey, Mike. Are you touching on some pretty tense nerves there? But yes, Eric is watching, so we'll we'll have to answer this provocation later. After all this I've said, but let me check if I've got anything else to say. Okay, yes, I have a couple of more things that are important. In the meantime, I'm answering some question about Scramble Battle of Britain. I had Alberto and Giulia and meeting with the producers last week or 2 weeks ago. They came back saying Scramble is really, really coming up super good. Alberto is pretty excited about it as well. Usually is another Edmund, very critical. So I'm very excited about that game. It's not close to release, meaning that we are not even close to beta right now. We're probably another 3, 4, 5 months away from actual beta. But the recent developments of the game are great. John's leading the team in a great fashion, and we're super excited about the game. It's definitely going to be a 2024 game, though, not releasing this year. Any further news on the other army decks in Broken Arrow beyond the 2 already released? Well, November. The game is not released yet. The game will release with Russians and Americans, and after that, it's going to be DLC planned based on number of players from different places in the world, and what's more popular, what's by request as well. But we've got plans to develop more armies, that's for sure. and but we don't have firm plans on which ones they are going to be, in which order they will come. When multiplayer in Master of Magic coming out, Chris? I don't know about that. There are plans for developing new game modes. I don't know if multiplayer is part of it, but I'll make sure I know by next week tea time. I have also to say, Gladius is going to be the next free game on the Epic Game Store. Make sure you grab it for free in the next week on the Epic Game Store. I think it's from today, and if you also take advantage of the massive DLC discounts we've got on the Epic Game Stores while the game is free there. It's massive to have a free game on the Epic Game Store for the first time. This is the first time we've got it, so I'm excited to see how it's going to pan out and how it's going to work. I'm always looking at this data and how these experiments work very carefully. It's really expanding the audience massively. Of course, you've got hundreds of thousands of people playing the game at the same time for the first time after all these years. So I'm curious to see how this goes, and I will let you know how this goes as well. It's already available on Epic at this time. So Major is giving us the inside information. We've got a stream schedule, and I got it coming up here. So after this, it's the 16th. We've got, of course, Distant Worlds 2 with Yog Dog and his Cold playing the new DLC. Are you going to make it, Yog Dog? You can ask for help if needed. There's a lot of friends in here that will help you go through this. Richard York, okay, tomorrow, of course, Friday the 17th. In Italy, it's not Friday the 13th. That's bringing the bad luck. It's usually Friday the 17th. So we've got to be very careful about that. Tomorrow, we have Richard York playing Fog 2 Ancient Swifton and Eagles at 6 p.m. After that, Das Tactic is playing Master of Magic at 8. And Hexaboo is playing Starship Troopers at 10. On Monday next week, we have Edmund playing Shadow Empire Oceania with Vic. Kushan at 2 p.m. And then at Kushan he's playing Command Operations, Modern Operations Showcase 4th Class at 6:15. Maladroidi asking for John Taylor's campaign series modernized. It's a good point. I think it's one of the things that I would also pick as, games that deserve a facelift and a modernization. Absolutely. That's a good tip, that I'll keep in mind. Anything scheduled for today? Yes, today after this we'll have Distant Worlds 2 DLC, Ikkuro and Dhayut DLC. And of course, on Wednesday next week, Edmond is coming back with the famous What's Your Mod format at 6 p.m. One thing I want to say, important, because we're here on Twitch, there has been questions about the slits and how it's happening that some of you cannot redeem properly their games by spending their slits. We have tested everything on our back end and it works. So we reached out to Stream Elements to make sure that they fix it for us. We'll keep you posted, and we'll post the news on our site when this is fixed as well. Make sure that we keep you up to date on that, and we know that there's an issue and we're trying to solve it. Next week I won't be here, but I'm going to still be doing tea time. So we're going to experiment doing tea time live from San Francisco at GDC. So hopefully we'll be doing it from a nice location. I still don't know from where. I still don't know how it's going to pan out, but we've tested some remote Twitch live streaming, and hopefully this is going to work. So bear with us, and see you. I'll see you next week from San Francisco. In the meantime, it's not redeeming slits, it's getting them accumulate. Yeah, okay. That's the problem. Sorry. Yes. We've reached out to Stream Elements, and we're going to tell you when it's going to be resolved, and we're sorry for that. And so next week from San Francisco, I'll probably do some tests before we go live, so to make sure that everything works. But anyway, we're still gonna have a pretty packed stream with tea time, and hopefully we're going to show you some cool things directly from the expo in San Francisco. So stick with us, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.